Hi, welcome to the Daily Breath. My name's Heather Holloway and I'm a breathwork practitioner. I'd like to wish you a happy Easter if you celebrate. Today is a day of renewal. So I thought today we could talk a little bit about creating new thoughts and new mantras so that we can have a renewed experience going forward from this day, so that our mind isn't creating the same life for us tomorrow that we had yesterday and the day before that. I brought along a book that I thought you might find interesting. It's written by a woman who is a very interesting healer named Louise Hay. And I will leave a link above about Louise so you can research her if you'd like. And the book is called You Can Heal Your Life. Here's the book. And she started writing this book in the 70s, and it's basically a list of maladies in the body, probable causes of those maladies, which is not based on medicine. It's based more on energy medicine. It's really more about emotion and the state of being that we're in that causes problems. And then a mantra to help us get out of that track that we're in with this problem. And the thing that's so challenging about Louise Hay's work is it's so simple. Simple, but not simplistic. So we don't want to make that mistake. So I'm going to read some things to you from this book that I find very interesting, and we can really think deeply about these if we want to and apply them to create a renewed vision for ourselves. And I think in these uncertain times, it's good to really stay on track with what we want to do and control our mind, because let's face it, the press, there's so much information, people are discussing things that they don't even understand themselves and passing around rumors about this virus and all kinds of stuff. And it hooks our mind, and then it gets us spinning. And then we get the crazy monkey brain, right? It's just going crazy. So I'm going to read, I need my glasses for this. I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs to you, and then I'm going to choose as our malady of the day to work with, I'm going to choose anxiety, because I think a spinning mind really does create anxiety, and that would be something that Louise could help us with. Okay? So I'm going to start by reading you just a couple sentences, and the subtitle of this paragraph is, "The only thing you ever have any control over is your current thought." Interesting. "Your old thoughts are gone. There is nothing you can do about them except to live out the experiences that they caused. Your current thought, the one you are thinking right now, is totally under your control." All right, that's just a couple sentences, but if you think about what she's saying, the past created your present, your past thoughts. So therefore, our present thoughts are creating what? Our future, right? So that's why it's really important to get a handle on what the mind is telling us. Okay. And then she writes a little bit more. She says, "Do not think your mind is in control. You are in control of your mind. Use your mind. You can stop thinking those old thoughts. When your old thinking tries to come back and say it's so hard to change, take mental control and say to your mind, I now choose to believe it is becoming easier for me to make changes." If you're a person that says something like, "I don't like change," that's a great place to hide, right? Hide from change, because it's unsure and we don't like that. So here's a way to work with that. You may have to have this conversation with your mind several times for it to acknowledge that you are in control and that what you say goes. So what she's really saying is that the mind is almost like another person, and you can converse with it separately, and that gives us an observer perspective, which is really helpful, especially if we're in a moment where we're feeling anxious, because we're just in it and we think this is who we are, but it's not. It's the mind doing this thing, and if we can separate ourselves from that and just look at that objectively, we can really get a better handle on it. So I'm going to look up in the back here her list, and I'm going to look up anxiety. Now she says the probable causes of anxiety are not trusting the flow and process of life. That seems right for these times, right? We're not feeling particularly trusting of the flow and process of life right now. And here's the mantra that she gives us. So if we're in a bit of a groove or a rut with this feeling of not trusting and feeling anxious, here's something that we could say to interrupt that thought pattern. I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. Doesn't that seem too simple? And yet, if you say this over and over whenever you're feeling anxious, and I'll type this above so you can have it to read if you want. I love and approve of myself, and I trust the process of life. I am safe. Now you might think to yourself, but I don't trust life right now. But that doesn't actually matter, because it's not about, do we trust the government, or do we trust what's happening with the virus, or do we trust that we're going to stay healthy and safe. It's about our reaction, our response, and our thoughts, and controlling our thoughts. We can control that. We do not have to give our mind away to these hysterical thoughts that are coming up. So I just wanted to offer this to you today, and I'd like to do a little breath work with you now to close, because I think it's important when we've introduced something new, such as this concept, which is really a concept about responsibility and taking responsibility for our own mind and our own thoughts and our own response. So let's just do a couple of deep cleansing breaths. I would like it if you could just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, if that's comfortable. If not, just breathe through your mouth, whatever works for you. And we're going to do 3 or 4 deep breaths, and I just want you to think about, as you're breathing, reflect on, how am I safe? How are all the ways that I'm safe? You could review your living situation. If you're watching this, you must have some media, a phone or a laptop, and that makes you safe and connected. Is there someone in your life who makes you feel safe? Do you make you feel safe? So I want you to just review with gratitude, when we're doing this breath work, what is it in your life that makes you feel safe? And I'd love it if you'd leave some comments below and tell me the things in your life right now that are helping you to feel safe. Okay, so let's do 5 breaths together. Really deep breaths. All right, here we go. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Thinking of all the things we're grateful for that make us feel safe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. I think that's 3. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll do one more. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And taking this moment of gratitude to change our thinking so that tomorrow is created by our thoughts today. And the thoughts that we're having today are thoughts that are supportive and safe and respectful to ourselves and not terrorizing ourselves. Until next time, thank you so much for joining me, and happy Easter. Remember, we cannot control what's going on around us, but we can control our thoughts and our response. Thanks, everybody. Take care. See you next time.